Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of Life with Lenoci. I like that. I like week 2. It's like the NFL season, but it's going to go on for way more than 17, 18 weeks. I got about 3 minutes and 15 seconds to motivate you and be inspirational because that's when the music fades out. I timed it and I want it to be inspiring up top. Because with the music, it's a little inspiring. I like that you giggled last week when you saw it go. I was like, now you see what I'm trying to do? It's kind of funny. It's like, is it a little cheesy to say to be inspiring? Kind of, right? But I don't want to be cheesy about it. But I do want to start off a little inspiring before I go into other stuff. But it's okay to be a little cheesy because, cheese is good, right? Don't we all love cheese? I know that has nothing to do with something. Cheesy is a word, but it makes you think about cheese, and that's the heart. I would like to stop eating cheese. I never will, but I would like to eat less of the cheese. Cheese is very hard because cheese goes on everything. There's nothing it doesn't go on. Literally, there's nothing it doesn't go on. I mean, excluding chocolate and candy, which that doesn't count. There's not a food cheese doesn't go on. There's not a food that a form of cheese doesn't go on. You could put cheese on fish. There could be a fish sandwich yes, you could absolutely put cheese on fish. There's a Philly roll in sushi that's cream cheese with salmon. So, a form of cheese goes with everything. But yes, technically you could argue that cheese doesn't go with fish, but I would know. How about this? When you do like a little tapatio, you could put like a Parmesan shreds over the top of it, right? Or maybe like, did I say tapatio? Like the sauce? Tilapia. So whatever. We're already like a couple minutes in, but either way, we should all, I think I used to always try to like do something every week. I'm like, let's try to do something different that's bettering ourselves. I could say I'm going to stop eating cheese, but I know I'm not. I would love to stop eating cheese and bread, but I mean, pizza's the greatest thing in the world, especially if you drink. I think part of the way to stop eating cheese is you can never be drunk. If you're drunk, that's the best sounding thing in the world. I mean, obviously, we could get sexual. There's other things when you're drunk that you think of, but for me, food trumps everything. I would choose food over anything, unless it's like going to watch a Dolphins game or something like that. But either way, welcome back to week 2 of Life with Lenoci. Thank you guys for joining, whoever is hopping on in the beginning. Thank you. And we're going to go on a fun ride, and we're excited. And again, I said it has to be inspiring. Are we even at 3 minutes yet? So I still got time to kind of really get these people going. No, but we're not really, because it was rolling for a while. So we're not really at 3 minutes technically. So the music is still playing. So I got to be like, guys, go out there, do what you want to do, get going. You're not buying into this right now. You're not buying into it. And if you're not buying into it, then people listening aren't going to buy into it. And then what am I doing? Am I inspiring anyone? And I want to inspire people here and there sometimes. Although I am ambitiously, negatively ambitious. That's what we said last week. I'm negatively ambitious, but either way, I'm inspiring you. The music's kicking in. Let it talk to your soul. Let me know the feedback too. Do you like the beginning of the music? Or are you guys thinking like, I'd rather the music fade out in the beginning and I just hear the talking? Because if you like the feeling, I could also change the theme music as we go. You want me to inspire you? How would I inspire you? You've never looked inspired. You look like you're just going through the motions and this is what your journey is. That's not true. That's kind of mean. But do you get excited about things? Do you still get excited about things? Like what? Like a vacation? Or is it like personal things? Is it meals? What about projects? Is there someone recently that you like are working with? You're like, oh, this is fun. I'm really excited about. Or because do you sometimes take jobs with people even if you don't necessarily think that you would be inspired working with them? Yes. So you still do that because of job, because of how we have to. What?
Not anymore.
Now you don't. Like if someone hit you up, you'd be like, and you weren't feeling them, you would just be like, oh, I don't have time. Even if you did have time. Interesting. So we could go look at all the podcasts he does produce with people, and then we could judge him and be like, oh, really? He gets inspired by that guy. Well, he's here, so that's something. But the music's probably faded out. I hope it worked. I hope that you guys are excited. And this is week 2 of Life with Lenoci. And I'm excited. We got a lot to look forward to because, again, I think it looks great. We got the tight look. We got the little Instagram account. We got our new Simplecast account, new audio. It's only available on Google, Spotify, and Apple. I believe I only did those. Oh, and Amazon. I just did the top 4. I don't know about those other places. If you're listening to podcasts on other platforms outside of even those 4, right? Because Amazon, the fact that Amazon's one, like, that's weird. But if you're listening to a podcast that's not on YouTube, if you're not watching a podcast and you're listening to it and it's not on Spotify or Apple or even Google Podcasts, and I'll even go outside and say the Amazon one, what the hell are you listening to it on? You're like different. You're definitely a different person. I remember the old podcast, they would have less than 1% listens from any of those platforms. So if you are listening to it, why? Why are you guys so difficult to not just... Is it because you don't want to pay for an account on Apple or Spotify? And by the way, I was one of those late guys who was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this Spotify thing. I'm on Apple. It's all good. It all works together because we have an Apple phone. You have I have a Mac. What are they called? A MacBook things, whatever, But either way, everything's Apple. And then I found out that the Spotify thing. Here's what Spotify has. It's great for music because people can share playlists. I don't use it, but I still switched over to Spotify for that. But I listen to my podcast on Apple Podcasts because it's free. You don't have to pay for that. But Spotify for music, though, I pay for that and listen to the music on there because it's easier to send songs. I realize when I'm listening to, I would say kind of like housey music, I send it to my buddy back home. Tim, he's an aspiring DJ. He does it as a hobby, but I send him music sometimes and ask him if he likes this, if we're feeling the same thing, which one day I do want to shoot a concert with him out in Joshua Tree at this place called Starship Landing. It's on Airbnb. You could rent these 2 houses. It's expensive, but it's made for like, what a fun time. It's made for what a fun time. Literally, that's what it's called. What a fun time. And I've talked about it before on like an older takeover episode. But I want to shoot something with my vlog guy and shoot a concert there. I don't know. I have an idea. I don't want to share it yet, but one day that will be a thing with music. I don't know how we got into the music thing, but are you already like where he just goes? You said you're guy, so good. Oh, you're offended? You guys are both got my guy. You're my pod guy. I got my vlog guy. He's gonna shoot it's gonna be a vlog thing. I was at my buddy's house yesterday. Hold on. That's not a sponsor, by the way. It's just really good. Here's what's the greatest part about this podcast studio. Capri Sun. There's Capri Suns here. Mini Arizona iced teas. 2 of the more fun, I would say, of all liquid drinks, right? Those are 2. I would put those in the top 5 for sure. Now listen, everybody's going to put Gatorade in your top 5, right? But Gatorade is more like I'm playing a sport and I want to rehydrate myself. I don't want Gatorade with a meal. Right? Are you writing? Okay. Shout out to the Top Tree Studios, by the way. That's where we record our podcast studios. If you are in the business of wanting to record a podcast studio, you could hit me up and I'll give you the information. But they provide a lot of goodies. There's a lot of snacks in here that you learn self-control being here because I'm looking at it right now through the window. There's Captain Crunch. By the way, there's a lot of cereal here with no milk. And it's fine, but I guess these guys here love eating cereal out of the box with their hands. I assume that's why they have so many different types of cereals here. Which, Captain Crunch is probably something you could eat with your hand, but you're not eating Frosted Flakes with your hands. That's not a hand. I could understand Captain Crunch because they're a little bally. I guess Fruit Loops, the mini wheat things make sense because that makes sense. But like you would never have Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's not even there. But that's arguably one of the greatest cereals of all time. And we could do a poll one day and ask what are the top 5 cereals. I'm not putting Captain Crunch on there. I'm not putting Frosted Flakes. Okay, here's the reason. I know that I'm already going to cut myself out. The reason is Frosted Flakes. The only reason that would maybe be in the top 5 is because of what it is, the character, the commercials, everything it holds together. Okay, hold on. Let's do this right now. Let's go into the top 5 cereals of all time. And this was not planned, but I will say this. Before we go into it, we all have to agree right now. Are we just doing taste or are we doing the full package? What is their commercial? What is their branding? Who is their character, right? Their mascot. Like it goes all in all, like what's the best that can be made into an alternate meal besides cereal? There's a lot of variables you have to throw in when deciding what is the best cereal. So, people off the top are going to be like Apple Jacks. They could say Apple Jacks. It's an old school cereal that was in what's been in the movies the most. I think Apple Jacks has been. Which one? Honey Nut Cheerios. There you go. So Honey Nut Cheerios, you would have to say, is in the top 5, right? Because that's in movies, the commercials. Oh, it saves your heart, right? That's their branding thing. If you have a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios a week, you are less likely to have a heart attack. Like anybody's gonna prove them wrong, right? Like who's eating Honey Nut Cheerios and like trying to have a heart attack? Like on the side, they're eating McDonald's every day. You're about to show me your top 5? Your top 5. Okay, you're already you're so wrong. You want to know why you're so wrong? Reese's cereal can't be in the top 5 because that was a late addition. That wasn't around in 94.
Yes, it was.
No, that came late. Find out. Reese's is like such an came late. Obviously, Reese's is good. If you made a cereal called Oreo cookies, you would be like, this is the best one. They probably have that. What year did Reese's come in? Even it probably came in earlier, but it wasn't popular like the other ones. Watch.
Because everybody loved Captain Crunch peanut butter, but Reese's blows it out of the water.
Yeah, but Captain Crunch is like it's an OG. Like Reese's is influenced through Captain Crunch.
1994.
So I was right. I told you it's late.
It wasn't even around in 94.
But that's late. That's way late, bro. Especially when we're born in 84. Like when did Captain Crunch? All these other cereals were around in the 70s. That's what I'm saying. So that's such a late ad. Bro, you can't be a cereal that was invented in the 90s. That's like saying J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar are the greatest rappers of all. They can't be because they are influenced through the greats. So Reese's, I'm telling you, like Honeycomb can be in there because that's an OG. What's CTC? Oh yeah. So Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Honeycomb, that's fine. Cheerios and Crispix. Oh, yeah, that's weird. You're a guy that would like those.
That's Chex Mix. That's
yeah.
all that.
You're telling me you'd rather have that over Apple Jacks or Fruit Loops?
It's ultimately the best one, and I'll tell you why.
No, you can't tell me why. You don't have a mic. That's why because we don't want to hear why you think. We just want to let you know that you're wrong. All right. You have to have Cinnamon Toast Crunch in there. Okay. You have to have, what was one that you had on there? You have to have Cheerios because even though it's a plain thing. So Cheerios and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I think you got to put Fruit Loops in there. The commercials, the characters, it's very sweet. It is good. So you got to have Fruit Loops. I know we're thinking of a big one. I know we're thinking of something crazy. I mean, Apple Jacks is pretty popular. That was a very big one. Captain Crunch had so many different flavors too. Yeah. You got to put Frosted Flakes in there because of the tiger. It's the most famous character of cereals, right? If you're on the Steve Harvey show, right? Where from Cheerios. And the tiger, though. Tony the Tiger is probably 1 and 2, one of the most famous mascots of cereal. So Frosted Flakes has to be in there as your 4. And then like I'm trying to think like, what do they say? If you Google right now, top 5 cereals, like there's someone we're missing. But Frosted Flakes, Cheerios, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Mini Wheats, Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies has to. Rice Krispies. That's the 5th. Oh my God.
Rice Krispies was going to be my 5.
It has to be. And I'll tell you why, because Rice Krispies became also like that's unbelievable. So Rice Krispie treats, Frosted Flakes, Cheerios, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. and Lucky Charms over Fruit
Cocoa
Loops. Over Cocoa Puffs. Lucky Charms beats Fruit Loops. It really does. It really does.
Grams,
What?
Golden grams.
Ah, Golden Grams. So, but that's what I'm saying. Now, listen, if we were doing taste, you would have a different top 5, but we're talking about the whole thing. We're talking about who's their mascot. Who's the, what else have they done? Like Rice Krispie Treat trumps everything because it's like, yo, we became a candy almost. Like, dude, we're sold in coffee shops all across America. Gas stations. People homemade Rice Krispie Treats. Even Fruit Loops, people are like, can we do Rice Krispie Fruit Loops treats? Like, you can, but it was all influenced. Like, Rice Krispie Treats is the OG. Frosted Flakes has the character. Cheerios, you know what? We could get rid of Cheerios. What did it really do besides the heart thing? It was a boring thing. It's not that great. It's plain. The bee with the honey, cool commercials. But you're going to tell me, dude, Golden Grams, I was on that for a while, man. I was on Golden Grams for a while. Stuff like Lucky Charms, I did that, but it was whatever. I moved up. Like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Golden Grams, and Fruit Loops, I did. I fucked with those. And I said the F word for the first time tonight. Remember, that was something I wanted to try to not do as much, but whatever. Good episode so far. I think we have a good episode. So anyways, this is why I brought this up. I'm at my buddy's house, and so this girl, she baked scones. Scones, right? We know what these are, right? Chocolate chip scones. A bunch of them. And I'm over there. I'm like, can I have one? I have one. And I love sweets, right? It's one of my weaknesses. I eat it. It's very good. But all I could think about was, if you're going to spend the time baking, why aren't we just making the chocolate chip cookies? Right? Like, what do we do? Like, I know you want to be like, oh, let's do something different. But like, I know personally, because I know the person who made them, I know them well, and I know that they love chocolate chip cookies more. I know that everybody in that house loves chocolate chip cookies more. So what's the thought of like, is it just like, oh, I've made chocolate chip cookies so many times that I want to do something different? Maybe that's why. But like, the scones are just dry, super dry cookies. These weren't actually that dry. They're really good. It was almost like these chocolate chip scones were cookies in a way, but it had like the little, maybe, is it salt that it has or something like that? They were really good. Like, I would eat them like cookies. They were actually the best scones I've ever had, to give credit where it's due. But all I could think about was like, you're doing this. Let's just make the chocolate chip cookies. What do we, like, we're doing the work. Let's just, you know what I mean? If you're dating someone, just get married. What are we doing? Otherwise, let's stop and not do this. Is that an analogy that works? Right? Like, if you're going to, at our age, you're not going to date someone just to date. It would be a waste of time. We're already doing it. That's who we're going to marry. If you're baking and you're doing sweets and you got 5 of the 8 ingredients, I don't know what the ingredients are for scones. I would say pretty similar. I would say that all of the ingredients you use in scones, you're probably using in chocolate chip cookies. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's all I'm saying. That's a fair argument. Disagree if you want. If you have a problem, let me know. But that's all I wanted to know. I was at the Century City Mall. Have you ever been? Of course you've been. Century City Mall is an outdoor mall, right? It's an outdoor mall like the Grove. But I'm there, and there were so many dogs. So many dogs. And anyone that knows me knows I'm a dog lover, right? R.I.P. Wade. I'm a dog lover. Always been a dog lover. Haven't gotten a dog since Wade. And I've promised myself, there's only 2 reasons I'll get a dog. And I stand by this. 1, I own the house and I have a backyard, right? Great. Now it's time. Or the only way I'll do it before having the house and backyard, there's a championship won by a South Florida team, i.e. Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, or Miami Marlins. Probably actually not the Marlins, because I don't follow baseball as much. It would have to be the Miami Heat or the Miami Dolphins that would have to win a championship. And whoever is the MVP of that team, that's who the dog's name is. That's who the dog's name is. And that's how it's always going to be for me in my life going forward. So I hope I can name my next dog after somebody on the Miami Dolphins. Whoever is that, if this is the early 80s, I'm naming it Marino. I named Wade after Dwayne Wade. He won us a championship in 06. I got my dog in 07. So what do I think is going to happen first? The Heat could actually win, and I would have to end up naming a dog Butler or like Bam. Bam's actually not a bad name because Bam, he's the center on the Heat. Bam Adebayo, but that's not a bad name, Bam, if he was like the MVP. Or there's also like the young guy, Tyler Hero. I'm not going to name Tyler, but Hero. That's kind of back to the cheesy stuff. That's cheesy. But hopefully it'd be annoying if I had to call him Butler. But if I knew I had to call a dog Butler, I'm getting a black lab. Hopefully he has like a white spot right here, so he looks like a butler. But my whole thing is, anytime, I know some dogs are better than others, but bringing dogs to public places that are with you, like on errands and stuff, I don't process that part. It's actually more of a burden to bring them. Like, people are walking around the mall. Are you there just to get out for exercise for the dogs? Fine. But if you're there to shop and you're walking around and you're pulling your dog around, like that's a burden, right? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? I don't think we need to necessarily be doing that. And I remember I saw over 25 dogs. I'm not lying. Is this only an LA thing, or is this all over the world? Like, I mean, LA is really one of the very few places that has outdoor malls. You can't have. Why does Butler have to be black? Because butlers wear like a suit, a tuxedo. Oh, you thought like you were thinking race?
I was like, why?
No, because the butlers are wearing they're wearing like a tuxedo, like they wear, how butlers dress. Wow, this guy tried to make me sound racist, dude. Butlers dress like they wear those black suits with the little white. That you didn't get that when I said I hope he has a white patch right here. So then that's like the inside of the suit. You know what I mean? Because you would wear what? Yeah. Wow. Almost got checked. Okay. I wanted to go into this a little bit because we talked about it last week. It's so funny because me and Maddie were doing Village Idiots for a while, and people like, why'd you guys? People will, even my mom. My mom was one person who asked. She was like, so you're just not going to do that one anymore? I was like, yeah, probably not. Who knows? What if? I don't know what's going to happen 10 years from now. But people are always like, are you guys okay? Like, what do you mean? Like you. First of all, I'm going to tell you this right now. Guys aren't like women. We don't have falling outs. You just like either you do something or you work with someone or we were both just like, what are we doing? We're wasting our time. We'll always be best friends. There's no falling outs. He's got a podcast called Maddie Chimber Podcast, I believe it is. I'm double checking. You're making me nervous getting up, looking at the cameras. Are they frying up or something? They're good. Let me double check what Maddie's is. Maddie's is, why is it not coming up all of a sudden? What if I look and he blocked me? Maddie Chimber Podcast. Yep. So I think it's just better. We talked about branding last week. I think it's better for each of us to do that for now. And we could expand on our own things until we have more of a following where it's lucrative to have multiple podcasts, right? I think that's what you see a lot of these bigger guys do. They have multiple podcasts because they have a fan base that jumps from podcast to podcast. And it's lucrative for them to have more because then they can get more sponsors on these podcasts because they'll just jump on all these podcasts. Instead of these sponsors being, we'll give you 3 for that episode, they're giving them 3 for 3 different episodes. So it's really, they're giving them 9. Simple math class. Either way. And again, goes back to last week, being inspired and wanting to do something that helps you bring eyes to your stand-up. If you are a comic out there, that this is what you got to do. You got to figure out how to brand yourself and make it more entertaining and fun. And this is why that's exciting. Here's the funny part is what did I do 4 weeks ago? Mark, do you remember what I did with Village Idiots Podcast? I did something that's associated with Village Idiots Podcast.
You wore the hoodie?
I wore a hoodie. What does that mean? It means I have 69 hoodies. I have 69 Village Idiot hoodies that I have to get rid of. You didn't think about that until just now?
I remember you made one.
No, I didn't make one. I ordered a bunch because my whole thing was like, I'm going to sell them on the road with, I got some dates coming up with Chris. So I was like, well, Chris's crowd like buys merch. It's fine. It says idiot. I could just make a whole spin on like, this is my merch. If you buy it, you're an idiot. So I don't know if they'll go as fast, but I could also just tell people after shows, I'll be like, yeah, I have a podcast called Village Idiots. And then if they really buy it and then they go look for it, by the time they get to episode 29, they'll be like, I mean, they would see on Instagram, but, and I'd be like, and then if they hit me up, they're like, you stopped that? You told me you had this podcast. I go, you're an idiot. So I got 69 to go, and I could probably sell them. I'll sell some. I got, if you're listening to this, then you are not going to see the shows in Irvine because that's this weekend. We're shooting some episodes ahead of time, but you will be in Phoenix at the Celebrity Theater. We're doing that. That's in Phoenix, April 30th. That will be cool. So I'll have those idiot hoodies there, and then we could do that. You could buy them, and that would be great. That you could help me move on from 69 of these hoodies. That I hope goes quicker than I don't think it will, but maybe. Who knows? You want one? Cool. Well, still got 69. I had my recent vlog come out. It was men's softball. I play softball. You don't play dodgeball anymore.
I do.
You still play? Where do you play dodgeball? Once a week still?
Burbank.
Oh, you play in Burbank. And that's where I play softball. Burbank is where you go to be a regular human. And I played softball. I had the worst game of my life when I shot it. I went 1 for 4, and I've been playing softball now for almost a year. Almost a year, being part of a group of men, which I would say most of them are older than me, which is funny because I get into it. I'm a pretty passionate guy. I cheer. I'm a vocal leader in the dugout. I would say I'm one of the vocal leaders. Although some of the guys are very like, how do I say this? They're very like, they're non-confrontational. So like if you go too much, if your volume is too loud with cheering, or if you go too much with like, with what you're saying, and it seems like it's being directed at the other team, they get very like, don't do that. Don't do that. That's the only silly part I think about it. And that being said, sometimes like there was an incident where I hit a shallow fly ball to right field. It landed and the guy went to pick it up with his glove and bobbled it. So I ran for second. I tried to stretch it. And of course I get thrown out, but I was safe, but I came off the bag. And they're like, why didn't you slide? And I was like, because I don't have health insurance. And I'm not sliding for a men's softball league in Burbank on Thursday nights. That's not a playoff game. I would slide for a playoff game, right? But I'm not like, what are we doing? This is fine. I just, mom's listening and she can be like, and that's one thing my mom always bothers me about. She'll be like, did you get health insurance yet? Can you please get health insurance? And I always tell my mom, and I've said this before to people, guys, I don't need it, really. I'll pay out of pocket for doctor visits, but ultimately, if something bad happened to me, like huge, like first of all, like diagnosed with something, we're talking about that serious, or like car accident, right? That you have insurance, you have car insurance that covers up to a certain amount of medical, right? Obviously, though, if I'm getting in a car accident, I know this, it's probably the other person's fault. So we're suing them. Check, right? So don't worry about the car accident situation. All right. Secondly, diagnosed with something where you need to do doctor visits. I'm in the business, man, where we're doing a benefit show. We're doing a benefit show. We're getting all the famous comics, and they're doing a benefit show for me. So we got nothing to worry about. You don't like that I just got crooked? I can't really move. Oh boy, man, I thought this was going to be a great idea, shooting a podcast that's really tight on me, because I'm like, yo, it's going to be easy for you. Now I can't be wobbly. Like right now, that's messing it up. Huh?
That's not up for you.
Is it messing it up like this?
Doesn't mess me up.
How does it not mess you up? Because it's still in
You're the
frame.
one that do reels.
Oh, okay. I can't make this a clip. Making edit. Damn it. Making editing hard on me. I just have one more note, and then I was gonna stop. I think it just says Comedy Central. Oh, this is what it is. I have a buddy, and he just shot a special, and he's thinking about putting it on Comedy Central's YouTube, right? Their platform. It gets a lot of views. People like Sam Morril, Mark Norman, I think both of them have like specials on Comedy Central. Correct me if I'm wrong. That I think Sam's has like 9 million, and Mark's has 9 million. Like there's a crew of New York guys that kind of figured out the YouTube game, and it's got millions. But right now in comedy, we're seeing something happen. The industry moves fast. It happens every like 2-3 years. It's not every 5 or 6. You think it does. Like in 2014, that was at the end where like a Comedy Central half hour presents still moved tickets for you. Like if you had a good half hour in 2014, like you could get a lot of sales off it. I don't believe that was a thing. It's not a thing anymore on cable, at least. Now, even Comedy Central finally came around and was like, yo, let's push it on our YouTube page. The thing is, they're so woke. They have a lot of comics on there that are not necessarily my cup of tea. I also just don't think they're relatable comics. So branding wise, I think for this guy, he's a Comedy Store guy. I don't think he really matches with him. And I think the things that happened with Sam Morril or Mark Norman, the views that they got were great, but now they've put out specials on their own YouTube channels and they have a lot of views. I was just telling him, I go, bro, I think you're making a mistake if you put your special on Comedy Central's page. You're going to get 10 million views maybe, but I don't know who's watching those views. Is it college kids? Is it high school kids? Is it young adults? Like, those aren't people buying tickets. Whereas you're going to share that link with everyone, right? You're going to go on Rogan. You're going to go on Bad Friends, all these big podcasts. They're going to share your link, right? And all those people are going to watch that link, and you're going to get 1 million views regardless, right? On Comedy Central's thing, you'll get 1 million with not asking for favors. But on your own page, you're going to get 1 million asking for your favors, and those people are going to subscribe to your YouTube page, which is ultimately going to bring a bigger fan base to your YouTube page where you can start doing your own little specials again and putting out sketches and whatever else you want. So I was just like, this whole Comedy Central thing, maybe it will get more views, but don't you want to build? My whole argument I was like, would you rather have 10 million views on your special, 0 subscribers on your page, or 2 million views on your special, but 40,000 subscribers on your page? I think personally, my opinion on this would be to have the subscribers. I think that's more powerful and bigger to creating your thing. And that goes hand in hand with what I want to do with my YouTube page and this podcast. I just think that. I also think like the Comedy Central's, stand up, like it'll be like, you'll have a comic on there who's just like, squares are just rectangles that are babies, or I don't know, like that, like, and you'll be like, huh? And sometimes there's triangles, and sometimes there's squares that identify as triangles. And you're like, what? I don't know. There's a bad analogy, but you know what I mean? They'll have a joke about shapes. And you'll be like, what is this? What are we talking about? Like, oh, that's clever. That's fun. But like, how do I connect with this person? It's just like, I don't know. It's just, I don't really want to go too far in that because then it sounds like I'm hating, right? A little bit. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think that was fun. We had a good week right there. We have week 2 in the books. I mean, listen, if we were going to review the weeks, I would say we started off 1-0, and then this week's 2-0. This is a win, man. I haven't, I'll tell you right now, going forward, I'll tell you if I feel like I lost the episode, then I will. But right now we're 2-0. We're undefeated. This is a good start. This is a good start to the season. Yeah? If you're the owner, right? Or what are you, the GM? If I'm the quarterback, right? What are you? You're the coach? You're the coach or the GM? Or am I the coach and the quarterback?
I'm the owner.
You're the owner. Okay, so you're the owner. Are you happy with the team, how it's played so far after 2 weeks?
It's been fine.
It's been fine. You want more?
Batting above the Mendoza.
Oh, what is that? A bag above the Mendoza?
Batting above the Mendoza line.
Batting above the Mendoza line. You know I'm confused right now. I have no idea what that
I'll
means.
let you look it up.
Can you just tell us? I'm gonna go as far to say that a lot of people listening don't even know what that means.
What, the Mendoza line?
The Mendoza line?
Yeah.
It's like the
batting
average
above
line.
Like if you're batting below the Mendoza line, you're getting cut.
So average?
No,
The Mendoza line is average, no?
it's bottom rung.
Mendoza line. So the line for the Mendoza line is the bottom line.
Mendoza line, I think, is like a 203 batting average.
So you're saying this is still bad? We're still playing
I
bad.
said you're above the Mendoza line.
Yeah, but
So
you got to clarify.
you.
I can't. Am I right above the Mendoza line? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're 2-0. The product we're putting out there is going to be fun. I mean, listen, I don't know if it's funny, but at the very least, it's entertaining. I mean, dude, we did a top 5 cereal. That's fucking gold. How many 40-year-old men are doing top 5 cereals? Some. I don't know. I had fun with the top 5 cereal. So, you know, what is this episode called? Rice Krispie Treats? Question mark. That's cheesy. I think we got it. Cheesy. We started off cheesy. And listen, I do want the feedback about, listen, I like starting off inspiring with the music. The music inspires me, man. I rewatched my trailer that I made. I rewatched it like 7 times. And then my episode 1, I watched like 4 times. I was really obsessed with it. And I barely watch my stand-up or listen to it. Because I'm like, oh, trash. Was really happy with the product that I put out on the field last week. I think I'll be happy about this unless I'm like, I hate the framing and I start yelling at you or something. But it is what it is. We're not redoing this because the flow is great. So if you're listening, thank you so much. I hope you subscribed, whether that's Spotify or Apple. If you could leave those 5-star reviews, that always helps. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment and turn on notifications so you can see when I put out my vlogs. Come out every Monday. This comes out every Wednesday. I also throw up little stand-up reels all the time. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend. Let us know and give us feedback. Again, there's a Patreon. We said we'll start the Patreon episodes when we get to 10 subscribers. And cheerio. What a way to end. That's how we'll do it. Cheerio. Hey, and in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.